We're on. All right, we're recording. Hey, Chris Sylvia, Simple Listing Solutions. We're going to talk about the Nosy Neighbor program right now. I don't know how long this will take. It could take 5 or 15 minutes, but when we're done, it's easy. You should have mastery over this killer farming technique. In fact, when I say killer, I was on the phone last week with an agent, Patty Smith. She's outside of Chicago, Illinois, and she's with Remax. And she's been an agent. She's not a rookie. She was an agent for a lot of years. She kind of got out of the business and came back into the business. Called me up and said, "Hey, Chris, it feels like a brand new business to me." I'm like, "What do I need to do to get started?" And I said, "Well, what kind, what's your budget? What's your resources? What's your personality? What's your energy? What do you want to do?" And we developed a little plan for her. And what she did, well, I'm going to talk to you guys about your nosy neighbor. Right? She used her system. She found a home that had just closed escrow yesterday in her farm area. And she used her system with our help, and she built a website, right, for that home. 2223 Larkspur just sold.info, right? A $3 domain name, driving people to a website where they could learn about their neighbor's house that just closed escrow yesterday, how much they got for it, how many offers, how many days it was on the market, and find out how much your home could sell for in the next 30 days with bullseye accuracy. One of those websites, a lead capture website. Okay. Then we said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to make a flyer about the property that just sold. So it's going to be a just sold flyer, okay, driving people to the 223 Larkspur just sold.info website where they can get all the details and compare the home that just sold to their own home, okay. So we're going to make a just sold flyer, and then you're going to take that just sold flyer, you're going to insert it into your newsletter, the welcome mat. That's the customizable monthly newsletter you guys get with your system, okay. So I want you to imagine that. She got her newsletter, the welcome mat. You can see here's a color I got printed out. Okay, she took her newsletter, and then she took a flyer that goes inside the newsletter. Okay, and she took a clipboard. So I've got a clipboard, and on my clipboard, what I did was I printed out the page from my Nosy Neighbor page on my website. Right, so it could be Forest Ranch Nosy Neighbors, Copper Creek Nosy Neighbors. Right, you pick your farm area and give it the name, and so it's the, let's say, Copper Creek Nosy Neighbors in this case, okay? And so she printed it out, my Nosy Neighbor program, and then behind the printout, she's got a stack of newsletters because she's going door to door, and in each newsletter, she's got a flyer that's already in there about the just sold. Okay, I'll have to show you a closer look at the flyer. It's easy, it could be any flyer, okay? But what's the dialogue? Right. So when you're out door knocking and you're not self-sabotaging, you're not going door knocking when people aren't home, that's self-sabotage. Right. Fear drives those kinds of decisions. And let's just talk about fear for a second, because door knocking can be so profitable, and it's a great way to build new relationships for life, new referral sources for life. It's a great way to do that. But you have to have a good, healthy relationship with fear to do it effectively. And so let me help you understand fear. Fear is a good thing, right? Fear is not something to be, ashamed of or abolished or necessarily gotten rid of, but it is to be understood if you're going to be effective, highly effective, especially in sales. Okay, fear can be used two different ways. Okay, timid souls, they use fear. When they feel fear, they use it to keep themselves stuck. I'm afraid, and they use it to keep them stuck. Okay, adventurous warrior types, when they feel fear, they know they're getting close to their target. Right? They know they're getting close to something that they need to do. And the more fear they feel, the closer they're getting to that thing they know they need to confront. Right? That's why we have courage. Right? There'd be no such thing as courage if fear didn't exist, right? So fear gives us an opportunity to step into our courage and own it, right? Move towards that fear, and then we own it. And guess what? That fear goes away. You've done it 10, 15, 20 times. You're no longer afraid of it. And as you do things like that throughout life, you become less and less and less fearful because you conquer things. Okay, so let's go back to door knocking. When you go door knock, you don't want to self-sabotage. You want to go door knock when people are home. A good time to do that in the evening when people got home from work and they're cooking dinner. Maybe a better time to do that is on a late Saturday morning about 10 o'clock when they're out front washing the car, mowing the lawn, things like that, right? But don't self-sabotage. Go door knocking when people are home. Now you got a farm area. Chris, I got 1,000 homes in my farm. Which doors do I knock on? Well, you got to tackle 1,000 home farm area, any size farm, 500 homes, 400 homes. You tackle them smartly. Okay. I don't know how many doors you can knock on in a morning. Everybody's different. But if you had a big farm and you said, where should I begin? Where I would begin is on the MLS. And I would look at your farm area, okay, and I would look for just listed or just sold in your farm. And then I would get some information about that just listed or that just sold, and I'd go door knocking starting around that just listed or just sold, right? And just work out from there. Okay, I'm going to do 100 homes or 200 homes around this area today because there's a new listing, there's something that just closed that I want to let all the neighbors know about. With my insert, driving them to my lead capture website, slipped into my newsletter as I introduce them to the Nosy Neighbor program. Okay, it's easy. So when you know how to do it, and it's fun. So let's talk. Hey, knock, knock. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Sylvania. I'm with Keller Williams Seaside, right down the road here on the corner. And I just dropping by to let you guys know that you got a whole bunch of nosy neighbors in the neighborhood. Right. And stop. Okay, sidebar conversation. So I'm not talking to the person at the door anymore. I'm talking to you guys. All right. So what did I just say? Introduce myself. Hey, my name's Chris Sylvania. I'm with Keller Williams Seacoast, right down the road here on the corner, in fact. And I'm just stopping by to let you know. All right. I did 3 things right there. The 3 most important things you got to get out of the way when you're door knocking and when you're calling strangers. You got to introduce yourself. You got to let them know who you're with, and you got to let them know what you want. Pretty quickly. Right. Hey, Chris Sylvania with Keller Williams Seacoast, right down the road on the corner here. Listen, I'm just stopping by because I wanted to let you know you got a whole bunch of nosy neighbors on this street and a couple blocks over. In fact, the whole neighborhood, nosy neighbors. And in fact, can I tell you about them? They're like, and now they're thinking, what? Okay, he's a real estate agent. He's with Keller Williams locally right here. I got that. And nosy neighbors, what? When I said you got a bunch of nosy neighbors on this street, boing, it's like a gong went off on their head. It's like, wait, what? Sorry, I was thinking about the Charger game. What did you? No, nosy. Oh, yeah, you got a whole bunch of them, not only on this street, but the street over there and the street over. And I'm going to go meet all the new ones down the road, too. So there's a bunch of them. But can I tell you, they're good people. And I wonder if you would like to join them. What are you talking about? Well, I've got this Nosy Neighbor program here for Forest Rancher for Copper Creek, and it's awesome. And if you give me 30 seconds, I'd love to tell you about it. It's zero obligation, zero risk, zero cost, and I think it's something that you'll like. Sure, what is it? Well, it's when you sign up for the Nosy Neighbor program, it's a great way for you, the homeowner. Are you a homeowner? Yeah, great. It's a great way for you, the homeowner, to really keep your finger on the pulse of your home's value and what's happening in the neighborhood in terms of home sales. Because here's how it works. Every time a home comes on the market, just in your neighborhood, like within a literal, like a half-mile square radius, we can go out a little bit further to contain just your neighborhood. Every time a home comes on the market in your neighborhood, you'll get an email automatically. You can click on it, look at the photos. If there's a virtual tour attached to it, you can see the tour. You can compare that home to your own and see how much they're asking for it. And when it sells, you'll get that information too. And it's just, you don't need to get out of your car in a rainstorm and run over to the flyer box when you see the neighbors listed their house and then the box is empty like they notoriously are. And then wonder, right? Just go inside, make yourself a hot cocoa, sit down on your computer, open up your email, and click. You can see what the neighbors are asking for their house, probably before there's even a sign out front. So you might know about it. You might be able to tell your neighbor, hey, you know the Smiths got their house listed across the street? No, how do you know? Get an email. I'm a nosy neighbor. Right. So that's how my Nosy Neighbor program works. It's zero obligation. I don't share your information with anybody, and anytime you want to stop getting them, you can just say, hey, stop. Would you like to participate? Bunch of your neighbors are doing it. Sure, why not? Great. All I need is your email address, and really that's all. What's your name? Hi, I'm Chris. Right. So let's stop. Now, what am I doing? Nosy Neighbor program. Right? I'm catching them with my dialogue. They're like, whoa, what? And I'm laughing about it. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of nosy neighbors. Why are they nosy? Well, let me tell you about it, and maybe you want to join them. Right? It's a fun thing to do. It's an easy conversation to have. They're laughing. They like you. It's an easy approach. My name's Chris. I'm with Seacoast Century 21 right down the road. Just stop by to let you know you got a bunch of nosy neighbors on the street, and I'm wondering if you'd like to join them. What? Yeah, here's how it works. I've created this program, zero cost, zero obligations, zero risk. I think you're going to love it. Okay. So that's how the Nosy Neighbor program works. And I'm just going to show you guys here, besides the page that I've printed out, right, my website page, my Nosy Neighbor program. So that's just my page printed out, Join the 4S Ranch Nosy Neighbors, right, from my website. So I can talk about it as I show it to them. But then also on my clipboard, what I'm going to leave them with, I'm going to get their email address, but what I'm going to leave them with is my newsletter, the Welcome Mat, right? So they're going to get my Welcome Mat newsletter, and when they take it in their house and they open up my newsletter, right, this little flyer is going to fall out, right? And they're going to say, oh, what's on this flyer, right? Real simple, just sold near you for top dollar. 3 different properties that just sold near you for top dollar, and check it out. Right? It's like getting a $450 appraisal for free. How much would your Oak Creek Ranch home sell for in the next 0 to 30 days? Visit my Oak Creek Ranch homevalue.info, right, and find out. So when I'm out in the neighborhood handing out my newsletter, the Welcome Mat, branded to me, looks awesome. You guys know this newsletter, the one you can staple up and a little mailing label goes right there, and you can drop it in the mail and send it out to your center of influence every month. That one, the Welcome Mat. That's what I'm walking the neighborhood with, right? And again, my introductory language is just, my name is Chris Silveda. I'm with Rancho Coastal Properties right here in town, and I'm just stopping by to let you know you got a bunch of nosy neighbors, not only next door and across the street, but this whole block is full of them. And I wonder if you'd like to join them. Hi, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you how it works. Great, give me your email address. Here's my newsletter, some information. Great, right? So that's a great farming tactic, because what are you doing? You're getting email addresses out in your farm. You're meeting people at the front door, and they're laughing. They're going, hey, okay, that's great. So you're establishing some rapport in a way that's great, nice, cool. Hey, take care, Chris. You too. Right, take luck. And you're leaving your stuff, and it's a great looking newsletter and some information, right? Maybe they're going to go now over onto your website. Right? But you got their email address. And do you guys think this works? Patty Smith with Remax, just outside of Chicago, came back into the business after being out for a while. Chris, what do I do? So her homework was to do just this. And she went into her farm area and she picked 50 homes. Maybe it was 100. Don't quote me. But she went out on a weekend and she knocked around the Just Sold with the Just Sold flyer in the newsletter, introducing people to her Nosy Neighbor program. And guess what Patty did? Guess what the result of going out and doing that her first time was? The result was 17 email addresses, meaning 17 new relationships where people felt comfortable enough with her to say, hey, Patty, that's cool. That's a funny joke. Yeah, I want to be a nosy neighbor too. Sure, you can send me an email. Here's my email address. 17 of those in her farm. Plus, one of those people said, well, listen, Patty, my mom is selling her house and she just interviewed an agent just this week, but she hasn't signed anything yet. And I'm going to get you an interview. I don't know that you'll get the listing, but I'll make sure you're going to sit down in front of my mom and talk to her about selling her house. So she said, Chris, I'm so excited. 17 email addresses, and I'm going on an appointment to meet this woman to see if I can be the agent she chooses to sell her house. Right? Door knocking on a Saturday. Right? Having fun. Hey, you got a bunch of nosy neighbors. My name's Chris. I'm with Keller Williams. I want to let you know about them, and maybe you want to join them. What are you talking about, Chris? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, that's your Nosy Neighbor program. Now, you guys, your Nosy Neighbor page, it's ready for you. What I would do if I were you is I would go into your farm area. I would stand in the middle of one of the streets, and I would take a picture down the street, get a nice shot, come back to your computer, upload it into your back office, change the masthead image on your Nosy Neighbor page so it's actually your farm area, in the inset of the woman with the binoculars looking through the bushes. Right? So it's your Nosy Neighbor program for that farm area. When people go to your website, they go, hey, that's my neighborhood. And when you're showing it, hey, this is my Nosy Neighbor program, they're looking at your website page because you're showing the printout. They can see, oh, clearly that's my neighborhood. Hey, right? And so it just brands you the neighborhood, right? Makes you local. And so that's your Nosy Neighbor program. I'm going to give you the dialogue one more time before I end this video. So my name is Chris Silveda. I'm with Rancho Coastal Properties right here in town. And the reason I stopped by was to let you know you got a whole bunch of nosy neighbors on this street and actually the surrounding streets. Can I let you know what I'm talking about? Because I can tell you're curious. I've got a program. It's called the Nosy Neighbor Program. And it's no cost, no risk, no obligation, none of that stuff. And I think you're going to love it because your neighbors are into it. And here's how it works. Anytime a home comes on the market in your neighborhood, so I don't think I need to explain the rest of that to you guys. You can explain that, how the MLS works. Now, how would you do it? Here's the trick. When you get people to sign up to your Nosy Neighbor program, you're going to go back to your computer, you're going to hop on the MLS, and you're going to set up a search for them as if they were a buyer, right? And you're going to set up a search, just a custom search saying, hey, anytime a home comes on the market in this neighborhood, send it to me, right? That's how you're going to update people on new listings in their neighborhood. Just set them up on a search as if they were a buyer. That's number one. But I certainly hope you don't stop there. You're going to put them on your newsletter list. You're going to mail them the welcome mat once a month. It's your farm area, right? You can email them the welcome mat too if you want to do that. Right? It's your farm area. But as a smart agent, you're the one out there getting email addresses of people that live in your farm, and they're happy to give it to you because you've got a great reason and a great approach. You've got a warm, friendly attitude. Your dialogue skills, they're on. You're on purpose. You're not afraid. Right? Don't be afraid. Hey, how's it going? Sorry to it smells like you guys are cooking a fabulous dinner in there, and I just interrupted it, and I'm a little bit embarrassed. I apologize, but I'm going to be out of here real quick. I just want to let you know, I'm Chris Sylvate. I'm with Keller Williams right down the road here, and you got a bunch of nosy neighbors on this street, and I was hoping you might want to join them. Yeah. Here's how it works. I've got this program. It's zero risk, zero cost, zero obligation, and if you're a homeowner, you're going to love it. Are you a homeowner? Oh, you're renting? Go finish cooking that meal. Right? Or, hey, maybe I can help you guys buy a house. Zero down payment, got money, got a down payment. Right? So you see how that works, you guys? Right? The dialogue is real easy. Introduce yourself, who you're with, why you're here. I'm here because you got a bunch of nosy neighbors. I got a program. You're going to love it. Here's my newsletter. Here's the flyer insert. And I look forward to updating you in the future. And by the way, if you ever think about selling your home, I sure would love an opportunity to interview for the job of selling agent. Now, I understand you might have a friend or a relative or somebody in the business, and I respect that. But I certainly would like a chance to interview for the job. Thanks for the time. Bye. Right. Always leave with that, by the way. Always leave with that. By the way, if you guys are thinking about it, if you know somebody thinking about it, I sure would love an opportunity to interview for the job. Your dialogue is everything. It's so much more important than any website, any letter, any tactic, any strategy. It's your dialogue combined with your personality. You're in sales, you're in real estate, you've got to have a great personality, you've got to have great dialogue. If you don't think you've got a good personality, go socialize more, exercise more, change your habit, go be out with people more, where people won't put up with somebody who doesn't have a good attitude, right? They'll straighten you out. Oh, go practice, because you've got to be that in real estate all the time. It's just the way it works. But it's a great business. You meet a lot of great people. You get to serve them with a big transaction, a big move in their life, and really help them out. And you can make a great income doing it. So go use your Nosy Neighbor program through Simple Listing Solutions. If you need help getting your Nosy Neighbor page just dialed in perfectly because you don't know how to do it, and that's an anomaly. If you don't know how to do it, you need help. You need to call us up. We'll get you trained. Okay. But use your tool. I want to hear about the results. Tell me when you get listings. Tell me when you're getting email addresses. Stay in touch with us. Use us. We're here. We're on your team. Go do good work. Bye.